Hi, this is NKU Professor Sam Lappin with some tips on how to effectively send email to your professors. So first thing I want to emphasize is it's very important that you email from your NKU email account. If you email from something else like Gmail, there's a very good chance that that message will not go through. All right, obviously it's important to get that person's email address correct. And so you can just start typing the name and there's a good chance that it'll show up, especially if you have emailed that person before or that person has emailed you before. Another thing you can do if you're not sure is you can go to NKU's main page, nku.edu, and from quick links, you can pick directory and search for that person's email address there. And also you can send an email to a professor directly through Canvas. All right, very important, the subject line. Be specific about what you want to contact your professor about. Don't just put needing help, having a problem. Be specific about what you're looking for. So in this example, it's a student asking for an extension on chapter 5 of the ebook. Okay, so now when your professor receives that, they have a good idea of already what this email is going to be about. Next, you may be wondering if you should have some kind of salutation to open with dear, which is very formal, or hi, or hey. In most cases, it's really not important. If that's something that is your natural style, do it. If it's not, then just go straight to putting the name. Very important when putting the name in is to use the title professor, or the abbreviation prof, as I have put there. And the reason why is you may not know for sure, does that person go by Ms. or Mr. or Doctor or any number of other things. And the thing to keep in mind is all of us who teach at NKU have the title of professor, so you really can't go wrong there. Next, you may be wondering if you should put just a general type of greeting, how are things going, hope you're having a good day. Again, I say go with your style. That's something that you usually do, go ahead. If it's not, then don't. But the next part is really important, which is to identify yourself. So here's an example. This is Mary Smith from your Monday, Wednesday, 12:15 speech class. All right. Keep in mind that your professors in any given semester may have well over 100 students, so that's very helpful to identify yourself. Now it's to the point where you're going to be specific about the information that you're giving. And the more detail that you can put in there, really, the better. So in this example, I'm writing, I am requesting an extension on chapter 5 of the ebook until Friday at 2 p.m. So it's specific, it's detailed, it gets to the point. Now, if I had just put, I'm requesting an extension on the most recent chapter, well, the professor may have assigned a few chapters recently, and if you don't put the number, they're probably going to have to go to Canvas and into the gradebook and look it up and see which chapter you're missing. Don't ask them to do that extra work. Give them that information. And then until Friday at 2 p.m. So that's a good specific request. At this point, you may be asking whether or not you need to put some type of excuse. First thing I want to emphasize is never feel pressured to share something you're not comfortable sharing. If it's something personal or just something you don't want to put in there, then don't put it in there. But if you do feel like it's appropriate, especially if you're asking for something a little bit bigger, like an extension on a major paper or missing a class, then it may be a good idea to put something in there. But again, only if you're comfortable doing it. So you can write that, I'm sorry, my dog had kittens, or whatever it might be the issue is, and put that in there. Also, if you're going to have the opportunity to provide the professor with some type of documentation, that you're going to have a note from your dentist or whatever, it's a good idea to say, I will bring you a note from the dentist at the next class. Or if you happen to already have that note, you can attach a photo or a scan of that note to the email. All right. So whether or not you put that, that brings us to the closing, and you may wonder if you should put thank you or warmly or best wishes. Again, I say go with your natural style. If that's what you usually do, go ahead. If not, just put your name. And then, of course, go ahead and send that email. The last thing I want to mention is if you have any doubts about whether or not to send an email when you're wondering about something about the class, go ahead and send it, all right? This is our job. This is what we do, is to help students. And also, we know that if you deal with something up front, it's almost always easier both for you and for us. So if it's some type of major assignment and you have a question, but you don't ask it, and then you do something wrong in terms of the instructions of the assignment, it's a lot more problematic to try to deal with it at that end. Whereas if you ask on the front end, then it's much simpler for everybody. And keep in mind that some of your professors may not check email weekdays after 5 p.m. or on weekends or something like that. That's okay. It's still good to send that email, even if it's 11 p.m. on a Saturday. They'll get that email whenever it is that they check that email. So go ahead and send that. All right, that's just a few tips on how to properly send an email message to your professors. I hope you found this recording useful.